Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Another exciting episode of SVT. What's up, Vince?
What's
Daniel?
up?
What up? What up?
We got Tim on the ones and twos.
What?
Yeah,
Audience
Tyler's on
out
a
there.
mission.
He's on a mission.
He called out sick. I'm just kidding.
Get your
I didn't know.
volumes
I didn't
down.
know that was a thing on this gig.
He's on a mission to the airport, and he's not even going anywhere.
I know. Shame.
How are you guys?
I'm fucking beat, man.
Yeah,
I
you had a
I
big
went to
weekend.
Taylor Swift on Saturday, and then we went all the way to Santa Rosa to pick up a car for my wife on Sunday. And by the time Sunday afternoon came around, I was done. I probably shouldn't have even driven home. I was so exhausted, but we're good now. We're hydrating. It's a Taylor hangover, man, and I didn't even drink. I'm just so beat, but here now, having fun, ready to roll.
So did you just consume more alcohol than you planned, or you
I didn't drink at all. I didn't drink an ounce of alcohol. I'm just like, it's so exhausting. Just the sun beating down on you for like 7 hours, 8 hours, and then just so much energy expending at the concert. So she put on a hell of a show. Great America set off some fireworks for her too. That was very nice.
Cool.
She's the mayor, so that's cool.
She's the mayor.
She's the mayor.
So did she wear a Sharks jersey on Friday or Saturday night, or is that an old photo?
No, that was an old one. Like that was when she was playing at SAP Arena when she was doing like Fearless and Speak Now, like that era. She was wearing Sharks. She's wearing hockey jerseys with Swift on the back, number 13, like at all the arenas that she went to.
Got it.
Mostly hockey arenas.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's like a local promotion thing. Like, look at me. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And, yeah.
Daniel, how was your weekend, buddy?
Pretty good. Just stayed in. A lot of cleaning, a lot of gaming. I'm a huge gamer, so that's literally what takes up a lot of my spare time. So literally all I was doing all weekend, man.
Right on. Tim, how about you, buddy?
Yeah, I was kind of busy myself. Got to see some family. Family that I hadn't seen since before, like, the world shut down. So that was pretty amazing. So anyway, that was
family. That's great. Yeah.
That was a good thing. So yeah.
Right on.
Good time.
I did a whole lot of nothing. So I went on Friday night, had a couple drinks, and then Saturday and Sunday I stayed at home and worked in the garage. So for anybody who knows, like I mentioned this a couple times, you're going to see this background change quite a bit. So that there's like a process before the process starts. Right. Like I got to build the workstations. You got to build where the tools are going to go so that the workflow when this happens is all organized and it's not just chaos in the backyard and everywhere. The missus wouldn't be okay with that, and neither would the fur babies. So
right.
Started pre-planning the plan. So it was a great weekend. The A's had a pretty decent weekend for for being a last place team. They had a pretty good weekend.
Right. They went to Colorado. They won 2 out of 3, 8-5, an 11-3, and then they took the L on Sunday 2-0. They also hosted the Giants on Tuesday and Wednesday last week and dropped both games. Excuse me, they went to the Giants. They're hosting the Giants this coming week. Sorry, I got that flipped. But they lost both of those games in San Francisco. The Unite the Bay rally was happening on the Tuesday night game, and you could definitely hear it on the broadcast, and they were talking about it more, and it was great to get a little bit of camaraderie, a little support from the big brothers that kind of beat up on us a little bit, A's fans versus Giants fans, but uniting for this cause is it gives me a little hope,
just
a little
nice
bit of hopium.
To put
it's nice.
It was nice to put a little bit of sports rivalry and friendly rivalry aside and come together as a community, a regional community, and support one another. And we've talked about it a little bit last week of a baseball community coming together across the league. Jumping over to the Giants, Vince, how did the Giants do?
They beat both games against the A's in San Francisco.
But then Arizona,
Arizona. No, they went 2-1 against Boston. And then this coming week they got 4 against Arizona, and then they have 2 more on Saturday and Sunday. They're coming to Oakland. Right now, the Giants are second in the NL West behind Daniels Dodgers
by 2 games.
Yep, it's 2 games. It's getting a little bit closer. The Giants were playing like shit for a while, but they turned it up this last week. It's funny what happens when you play, a terrible team like Oakland. You know, you can certainly right the ship a little bit. And then they took 2 out of 3 against Boston, so they're right back in it. They're 10 games above 500.
Yep.
So I don't think they're going anywhere now. They're just going to be a little pest for you the rest of the year, probably.
I mean, it helps when you win 4 out of your last 5, and then the first place team loses 5 out of their last 7. So
yeah, really closes the gap. There
really, just like flip the script.
Yeah, for
sure.
The
NL West, the Dodgers, their last 10, 4-6. The Giants 4-6, and the Diamondbacks 2-8. So the top of the NL West, not looking too good right now. I mean,
scuffling a little bit, but
yeah. And then there's Tyler's Padres at 6-4. They won 3 straight. So
do Dodgers they claw their way back into it? No.
They're sellers right now, so yeah. I don't think so.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah, stick a fork in them.
Yeah, that's right.
Dodgers lead over the Giants by 2. Arizona Diamondbacks fall 4 back, and the Padres are 8 back.
Yeah.
Sticking with baseball, there's been some I want to jump into the trades because this was a lot of movement. There's a couple of teams that went all in, and there's a couple of teams that spent a lot of money and now are all out.
That's right. They are ejecting from the conversation a little bit there. So right now, right off the bat, Justin Verlander wants to get traded. So far, we've heard the Astros and the Dodgers are both in the mix. What do you think about, how old is he? 40 something, like 84 years old, Justin Verlander going to the Dodgers? What do you think?
But still pitching at a high level.
Oh, he still absolutely
surprisingly like, dude, like I didn't expect him to still be pitching as well as he is.
Yeah.
I did read a report though that his friendship with Houston's owner is kind of like what's holding everything up and what may ultimately lead to him reuniting with the Astros, but I don't know, man. The Dodgers do find a way eventually to try to get what they want. So
yeah,
I would not be surprised if we see Verlander in a Dodger uniform. Something I never thought I would ever say, like ever.
Right, especially after the pain of 2017, I imagine. Yeah. Yeah.
The Rangers, they were quite the buyers the past couple of days.
Yeah, they got Max Scherzer from the Mets. They got a couple of pitchers from St. Louis as well. Starter Jordan Montgomery and relief pitcher Chris Stratton. So they're really trying to beef up that the pitching heading down the stretch because pitching tends to wilt in Texas, and they just want to make sure they get enough arms and especially quality arms. Max Scherzer is, he's fucking Max Scherzer. Even like Max Scherzer, like a D+ game for Max Scherzer is a lot of other people's B+ game. So like he's he's always a gamer, and I
absolutely
ton of respect for that guy. I don't know much about Jordan Montgomery and Chris Stratton, to be honest. I know St. Louis has had a terrible season, so they're I do know that their contracts are up at the end of this year, and so that's why they're the ones being sold. It sounds like the Cardinals want to be back right in it next year, so that's why pieces like Nolan Arenado are not going anywhere. It's just the guys that are like their contracts are up or about to be up. So,
yeah, I mean, I know Arenado was thrown out there for the Dodgers, but they were just asking way too much. Like, as a Dodger fan, like I was like, no.
I think from the Cardinal point of view is if you were going to part with Arenado and you got a haul like that, you could justify like, man, we got a haul though. Like we got 3, 4, 5 guys that can plug in right now.
I mean, they were asking for Bobby Miller. They were asking for Gavin Stone. They were asking for Diego Cartaya. They were asking for Chris Taylor. Like that's too much, man.
Yeah, but that's like 4 of your top 10 prospects.
Yeah,
for a guy that's still owed.
And realistically, baseball percentages, if one of those guys works out, that's like, okay, we got 1 guy, 2 guys that worked out. But mathematically, on paper, taking 4 or 5 of your top 10, probably not going to happen. So,
no,
but I respect that they asked for it.
Yeah, if you're going to sell that piece, it's got to be you got to make it worth it to the fans. Really got to.
I think it's more than that. I think it's sticking it to a conference rival. Because
that's true.
The Dodgers and Cards have had their playoff battles throughout the years.
Mm-hmm. That's
We
that's
got
a fair point.
the Giants acquire AJ Pollock and Mark Mathias from Seattle.
Yeah,
Milwaukee acquires Mark Canna from the
yeah.
New York Mets. So the New
Our
York
old
Mets,
friend, our old friend going to Wisconsin. Good for
the
you,
Mets are
Mark.
just
Yeah.
tearing it down. But the thing is, they're probably going to be buyers again in the offseason. They're just going to probably try to reassemble this thing all over again.
Yeah, just with different pieces to make it work better this time, or whatever they'll say.
And Lucas Giolito from the White Sox gets sent with Reynaldo Lopez to the Los Angeles Angels, who are also they're not going to trade Shohei Ohtani. They think they're within striking distance of a wild card spot, so they're going to try to. I think that's what their plan is if we can make the playoffs, even at a wild card, can we sell Ohtani staying with us, with the Angels, going long term? So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, as it stands right now, they're 4 games out of a wild card spot, and they are 4 games above 500. So, I mean, you're above 500, you're less than 5 out. It's funny though. The Mariners are 4.5 games out, and they're absolutely sellers. So I mean, they're literally a half a game worse than the Angels. I guess there's your line right there, right? If you're 4.5 out or worse from a wild card spot, sell it all. If you're 4 or closer, bye, baby. I don't know.
I mean, it's Boston, New York, and the Angels. If I'm the Mariners, I understand. It's going to be kind of hard to catch those 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the Mariners' MO. Like, I'm appreciative that they were, many of their fans were supportive of the A's, due to the Seattle Supersonics. And I thank you. I respect that. Unfortunately, it just seems like the Mariners franchise has been a surprise hit one year and then a common retract to their normal
Regress
average.
back to the mean.
Yeah. So that's as a Mariners fan, as an A's fan, I could see how frustrating that is because it's, the A's have been competitive. We stink right now. But watching the Mariners for so long, they always kind of get good for a year and a half, and then they fade. And then in the playoffs, you can never really take them seriously. They had that one year where they got to the ALCS.
That was 2001.
And then
they fell to the Yankees there that year. And
so,
yeah.
Sticking with baseball, guys, you guys got any more comments about the trades or future trades or what you would like to see?
Oh, I'm just gonna throw out there that the trade deadline is 3 p.m. Pacific on Tuesday. So, it took a while for the trade market to heat up, but it finally started cooking today and yesterday, and it's gonna probably continue right up until 3 o'clock tomorrow. So,
I don't know if anybody
forward.
mentioned this, but Sam Moll from the A's got traded to the Cincinnati Reds. So
yeah.
Just getting that in there. Sticking with baseball, I wanted to jump over. We mentioned it a little while ago about the A's and Giants unite the Bay. But there was an article that Daniel shared, and this is on NBC Sports Bay Area, and this is about the John Fisher. So there's an article about John Fisher. It's titled A's Vegas relocation process draws some owners' ire. But the big thing here I wanted to talk about as I was reading through it is there are some low income teams, I should say, that are upset that MOB is possibly giving the A's preferential treatment in waiving relocation fees and kind of letting the A's do whatever the hell they want, and that same gesture is not being given to, say, the Tampa Bay Rays. No teams are really named, or no owners are named in the article. This is just hearsay. But then the other thing too is some of the higher earners, like the Yankees are upset that the A's are still on this revenue sharing, and I thought this was really interesting. We've talked about this before, that the A's have been profitable, that even though attendance is not where we all want it to be, they're still profitable, and they were top 5 in profit last year, is what Forbes reported. So I want to read the last paragraph of this. MLB's last collective bargain agreement made the A's eligible for a 25% revenue share in 2022, a 40% share in 2023, a 75% share in 2024, and a 100% full share in 2025. Only if the A's have a binding agreement for a ballpark in place.
That's by mid-January of 2024, right?
Correct.
Which is right around the winter meetings.
If the A's were top 5 in profitability last year, and that was at 25%, what are they going to be like going forward? I mean, to say that the A's
no wonder he doesn't give a shit about pissing off the fans, man.
Exactly. You're carrying him. You're carrying this loser. During the pre-show meeting, Daniel and I, when he was sharing this article, we were talking, and when you're a billionaire, that's an exclusive club. And I don't know where I heard this analogy from. I heard it from somebody else. It's not mine, but it's like you're in an exclusive party, and when one guy starts to ruin it, like, yeah, you're going to get the other owner's ire of this. Like, they're going to be pissed because this one situation in Oakland is causing problems. Look, in Milwaukee, in Arizona, in Colorado, in Tampa Bay, it's bringing heat to other owners. And we've been seeing other teams, other fans starting to wear their own sell the team because there's other owners that are just as crappy as John Fisher. And in a way, kind of even in a certain situation, even worse, because some of these owners have the stadium and they still don't do crap for their teams. They still don't take care of their players. They still don't take care of their fans. So if you're an owner, I mean, look at the backlash that Rob Manfred is getting. He was already like a foot in mouth, kind of a idiot, not a very good public speaker. And we always said, like, man, you have a commissioner who doesn't even love baseball. He called the World Series trophy a hunk of metal, and all these insults against his own sport. And then he gets a new contract. But the A's and John Fisher and Dave Kaval are bringing heat against the league. How could people not be upset if you're a part of the ownership group? Is my point. This isn't breaking news. I think it's a good article. It's kind of how would you say it? It's like it feels good.
It's a light shining in the dark a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like there's finally other people are reporting on this. I know there are some more protests from A's fans coming up. I think next week they got Summer of Sale. Terribly prepared. I don't have the dates in front of me, so maybe I can find that real quick.
Well, while you're looking for that, this is the thing that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
His quote that said, "I've been clear with the owners. In the context where you have an owner who's making $1 billion private commitment, moving to a market where they receive public funding, for baseball to step in and have a relocation fee, I don't see that as a realistic possibility." That is such trash, and you know it, Rob. Mm-hmm. Like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's just an excuse. Like, oh, they need public funding in order to get a new stadium, so it's not right for us to charge. Get out of here, bro. Yeah. Go sell it somewhere else, bro, because we're not buying it.
Yeah, it's the horsest of shits, man. It is not in any way reasonable. Also, I just want to bring up that the Las Vegas Review Journal had a little talk about the new stadium site and everything, and it turns out the very fake plans for the Tropicana site were fake. Wow,
you don't say.
Wow.
The 9 acres that they were promised in the drawing showed them taking up 29 acres. Like, yeah, good grief. Wow, it was so obviously not real in any way possible. Like, just the dimensions alone. Brody Brazil did a great video about just literally on Google Maps, just drawing it out with the map. Like, here's the acreage of this plot of land. This is what 9 acres looks like. This is what the map, it's the 35 or whatever it is total acres. And here's what the drawings that they released to the public for Nevada. And Nevada's getting screwed out of this just as bad as Oakland almost. It's I think the general citizens are not happy with this at all, and it's a whole bunch of egg on their face, man. It's disgusting. I'm livid. I'm glad that I've built up a stone wall around my heart so I can't get broken again until a new owner comes along.
I got the information here, guys.
Yeah,
it is so the summer of sale, just to kind of correct what I was saying, the summer of sale is like the season. The next event is Sell the Team Saturday at the Oakland Coliseum, August 5th. And there is another fan giveaway. There's 10,000 rally towels that are going to be given away to fans. There's going to be music. So if you participated or witnessed or seen the videos and all that of the reverse boycott, it's going to be very similar, but it's called Sell the Team Saturday. There's going to be a rally towel giveaway. And if you need more information on that, please follow Last Dive Bar on Twitter or the Oakland 68s on Twitter. They're posting all the information. I know they need volunteers to help pass out stuff and keep things organized. So they are doing a fantastic job of keeping the momentum going. They are doing a great job. So we can't shout them out enough. They're, Hot Dog Hal, all those folks over there are, holding it down for us. And, we want to shout them out. Daniel,
absolutely.
You're going to the A's and Dodgers game, right?
I'm trying to get tickets for Mexican Heritage Night, which I believe is tomorrow. But look, the fact that straight up, Dodger fans, I'm talking directly to you guys right now. We have Oakland this weekend. I mean, this week, I should say. Spark up conversation, be curious, and be supportive, because just imagine if out of the fucking blue, our ownership decided to get up and root the Dodgers out of LA. How would you guys feel? Be supportive of this fan base, bro, because nobody deserves to get their team ripped away from them. Yeah. So all that I ask is that in unison with our Oakland A's fans, make sure to fucking chant loud as possible, sell the fucking team, and fuck John Fisher.
That's right.
Yeah, no, I mean, no team deserves to be held hostage. Of course we want to go to the games. We want to buy merch. We want to do that as much as the next fan base, Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, whatever big boy franchise you want to insert. We want to do that. But when you have 20, 30 years of zero players to hold on to, just showing up for the sake of showing up, no fan base does that. No fan base does that. And be real with yourself. And Vince is wearing a 49er hat. Okay. Mm-hmm. One of the most legendary, well-known brands in the NFL. And we all know NFL is king.
Yep.
Right. We all love baseball, but we all know NFL is king.
Is America's pastime. Real pastime.
Yeah.
Now, yeah. But when the 49ers sucked, it was not 100% sold out.
No. They were able to fudge the numbers to get an official sellout.
And I'm not picking on the Niners. We know that's true for any franchise.
Yeah.
When the A's won 97 games one year, we went to New York. We went on a New York and a Red Sox swing, went to Boston. The Yankees weren't very good that year. And we went. That stadium was empty. At Yankee Stadium, that it was empty. We went to the Red Sox. The Red Sox were good that year. Stadium was sold out. So you can't just say, "Well, go to a Yankee game just to go to a Yankee game." The team sucked. So just saying, "Well, you should have supported the team." And I understand the A's have gone to the playoffs and they had some success with Billy Beane. But you don't just go for the sake of going. You go because you latch on to a player. You got their baseball card when you're 12, 13 years old. And, Miguel Tejada for me was that guy. Of course, I love Xavi and I love the big three. But for whatever reason, Miguel Tejada was my guy. He played shortstop. I always just felt like he was the guy that didn't get the love and respect that he deserved because he was overshadowed. I mean, we grew up in an era of amazing shortstops, and he was kind of overshadowed because of A-Rod, because of Jeter, because of Nomar.
Yeah, he was like the fourth guy on that list,
right?
You know, of everybody's list
consistently.
But yeah.
And but he had more errors than those players. But a lot of the times it wasn't because of a fielding error. It was because he had so much range and he would still try to get a throw. I remember he would make throws from like the third base side and get guys out. And sometimes it got away from him. So he was my guy. And his MVP year, everybody said, oh, the A's are probably going to regress because they lost Giambi and they lost all these other players. And Miguel Tejada willed that team. And I've said this a few times before. If Miguel Tejada would have played his Baltimore Oriole years with the Oakland A's, you're talking about statistically, he's top 2, top 3, number 1 in almost every offensive category. Look it up right now if you don't know this. Look it up. Look at the all-time A's home runs leader. It's a guy who played in like the dead ball area. It's like Christ. He would have, it's all of your leaders on the A's. You got a bunch of stuff from Ricky Henderson. You got some stuff that's Mark McGwire. And then you got a whole bunch of players that haven't played.
It's like Jimmy Fox and shit like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like people our grandparents didn't even see. You know what I mean? It's so when you have a franchise that has nothing to cling to, you're gonna lose interest because they're gonna connect with the players. I mean, look at the Cardinals. The Cardinals stay consistent with their fan base has stayed consistent with that team because they produce a Hall of Famer almost every decade. They retain talent. The Cardinals don't really go out and get free agents. Very few times do the Cardinals go out and get a free agent. They usually trade for a player, and if they perform, they retain them. They give out contracts, but they retain them through a trade. And the A's can't even do that. They can't even make a trade or retain one guy. We talked about this many times, Vince. The richest contract is Eric Chavez, and you can't even say that Fisher gave that out because he didn't own the team. He bought the team the next year.
Yep. Exactly.
And that was 6 years?
6 years, 66
million?
Yeah, 6 years, 66.
So I mean,
11 mil a year for 6 years.
One of what? Are they the only team that doesn't have $100 million player? I thought we saw something.
I thought we saw something like that. Yeah, I think
they're like the only team or the one of 2 teams to never sign $100 million player, and that's modern baseball. Like you don't get extra World Series points for winning the World Series with Moneyball. There's no extra and they did it with Moneyball.
They don't tack on 3 extra flags onto that hunk of metal.
Exactly. You win or you don't. You win or you don't. And so it's just nonsense to say that, well, Oakland A's fans should have showed up. They didn't support the team. Well, maybe the owner should have cared about his team too, instead of squatting on it. Any fan base would be upset for any owner just squatting on the franchise and doing nothing with it. Sorry.
Then they tell us, you should have shown up. And then we do show up for the reverse boycott. And they're like, oh, it's not good enough, or whatever. And it's like, and then other people will be like, well, why are you showing up at all? You should be boycotting. I'm like, bitch, that's what we've been doing. We've been boycotting.
It's damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
What were you going to say, Daniel?
I was going to say it's really hard to try to go to games. So to your point, if your owner just clearly doesn't give a shit, and whenever you guys do develop talent, the first thing that comes to mind is trade. It's hard to get behind a team like that. I mean, just imagine a team like exactly how you mentioned about the Yankees. Remember the years when the Lakers were absolute dog water and they had Kobe Bryant on that team. Nobody was in that stadium because they weren't winning.
Right.
But the minute they started winning again, that's when people started going to Laker games again.
Winning is the best deodorant.
Yep.
It's the cure all.
Yep.
2019, that wild card game the A's hosted, 50 whatever thousand people were there. We were there. I was there. I was sitting in fucking section 334, like all the way near the top of the stadium. I was there. That place was packed, and that game obviously didn't go well basically from the jump. So it got, it was kind of sad, but
there were
we
years,
were there. We were ready.
I mean, there were years when the Dodgers were terrible and nobody was in the stadium. And then once we started winning again, I mean, my brother was at the C. Finley Grand Slam game when we clutched the division for the first time in like 12 years.
Right.
It happens, dude. It happens to every fan base. So for you to say, yeah, I'm loyal to my team, but I don't go to the games, it's like, well, what?
Yeah, because it casting stones at a glass house.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Well, I'm a Dodger fan or a Padre fan or Yankee fan. That's not going to happen to us. And that's what I'm pretty sure the Seattle Supersonics fan said. And look what happened. And
yeah.
I mean, there's just so much data and information that relocation isn't good for the league, whatever league. And these handouts that cities give sports is not good for the city. And there's people leaving Las Vegas because of education, because of heat, because it's not walkable, because Las Vegas, like the area that caters to all of these tourists, it's like impassable. It's like it doesn't have a flow for the natives. So if you're a native person going into where they want to put the ballpark, it's not going to be a good route. It's not accessible. And there are things that are more important. And I know people say, well, what about Oakland? They have similar problems, or if not worse problems. And that's true. Not here to lie to you. However, the funds the city of Oakland have secured is not jeopardizing the general fund. So it's not jeopardizing what's going to happen to
education money is not being touched.
Things like that.
This is all grant money.
Right.
Like, and Oakland gets this money whether the A's leave or stay. Like
Correct.
That money is going to help improve the infrastructure in the Jack London Square area, Howard Terminal area, all that, like repaving those roads, the train tracks, all that stuff. It's gonna happen whether the A's are here or not. Obviously,
yeah.
Would rather they be here.
Yeah,
I'd rather
for sure.
they stay. But
and I mean, the thing for me is like the A's, it's Oakland's team. That's why the Aces do well in Vegas. That's why the Golden Knights do well in Vegas, because it's their team. It's their homegrown team. Mm-hmm. That's why.
This is off the cuff, but the Washington Commanders, you guys see the weekend of their training camp?
Mm-mm.
You see how many fans showed up?
Oh, I sent the pic to you, Sam. Yeah,
it was. I mean,
in 2022, with Dan Snyder still in charge, there was one guy and one like knocked over chair, like at their spring at their training or whatever. I keep wanting to call it spring
training camp.
Training camp, yeah. This year it's fucking packed. Like thousands of people showed up to it. Who would have thought? You get rid of a terrible person, a terrible owner. You get rid of him. It rejuvenates the fan base. And I mean, I don't know anything about, Josh Harris or any, I don't really know much about him. He might be just as terrible of an owner, but right now he's not,
no,
he hasn't earned he's got some time to create his own mystique or whatever. And that's part of the reason why A's fans keep clamoring for Joe Lacob, because of the way he turned the Warriors around. I mean, there's a lot of credit there for doing that for him, and that would be the dream, obviously. And the problem is the team's not for sale, not right now.
Isn't Magic Johnson part of that ownership group too?
I think so. I think he is. Yeah,
the Washington Commander ownership.
Yeah.
He is.
I'm not predicting anything. Don't put me against the wall and shoot me. But everything that man has been touching is turning to gold, man. LAFC.
Except when he was the GM of the Lakers.
When he was the GM of the Lakers. That didn't work out too well.
That ended in the most hilarious, I don't even think the Lakers knew he was going to quit. He just showed up like, I ain't going to be here.
I mean, I don't know if y'all saw the Laker documentary on Hulu, but Jeannie said she was completely blindsided by it.
Yeah, I think he made the decision 6 minutes before.
Yeah.
Right.
So besides that, we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
LAFC, the Dodgers, now this.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
It could be an upside. Could be an upside.
All right, guys, I think that's enough baseball and
Yeah.
Oakland A's stuff. Unless people in the chat want to hop in or link us some articles or something, I think we're going to move on. But just remember, there are just to repeat in case anybody is joining late, there's a Sell the Team Saturday at the Oakland Coliseum, August 5th, a free rally towel giveaway. This is another reverse boycott type event where there's a fan generated sponsored giveaway, just like the Sell t-shirts. You can get a rally towel. So if you need more information, Last Dive Bar on Twitter or the Oakland 68s on Twitter. So check them out.
And that game is going to be against the Giants too. So
I'm going to be there.
Make it a family event, man.
Yeah. And one final thing. You know how shitty the Oakland A's are? They raised the prices on the fan events. On these events, they raise prices.
Fuckers.
So you know what? We're still going to show up because we have a mission, and it's going to get louder and louder and louder. So it's a long season for the A's and it's a long season for us. So we're going to grind it out together. So
we're going to make it a long life for John Fisher.
I think it's fuck John Fisher o'clock. So fuck John Fisher.
Yeah, it is fuck John Fisher o'clock. Thank you. Thank you for the reminder. Yeah. And on that note,
moving on. Not too much NBA stuff, guys, but I just wanted to mention this. Bronny James had some cardiac arrest problems while he was practicing at USC. He's since shown some improvement and was seen playing piano and eating out. From what I can find, there isn't much information about what happened, if he's coming back or, but that's beside the point. We just want to make sure that wish the young man well wishes and a terrifying event, to be so young and have something like that happen to him. So I just wanted to mention that. You guys want to add anything?
No, I think you said it great.
Yeah, man. Give it justice. I did see that he might be able to resume basketball activities. It's just a matter of when. But yeah, man, it was you never want to hear about something like that. It's definitely scary.
He's so young too. Like it's really scary. Yeah. So rest up, bud.
Vince, this is for you, buddy. I wanted to talk about some hockey. The Sharks announced the promo schedule for this season. Lots of fan design items. So the final designs are not final. So the final designs are not yet known, but it's a very fan driven.
Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of fan design stuff. This is the same thing they do every year for Los Tiburones night. It'll be somebody like some Mexican designs, really cool. There's been some really cool designs in the past, and I really look forward to that one. Pride night as well is another one. They're doing a bucket hat for Pride night.
Nice.
But yeah, so you can go to the Sharks game, get your bucket hat, and there you go.
We went to the Barracuda.
Hats, yeah.
We went to the Barracuda game last year, and the Sharks haven't been good. I feel like this is like I am a Sharks fan. I've been to some games, but I feel like these are the seasons that I really get on board, because you never want to get on board when a team is like at the peak, ultimate high, then you're a poser.
Kings. I mean, you waited 40 years for your chip. So, it looks like the Sharks are on the same plan. Yeah. Yeah. Daniel's wearing his Kings hat right now. And
always, bro. Always rocking it.
It took them 40 years from creation to winning the Stanley Cup, and it really does look like the Sharks are on that plan. We're already like past 30, so we'll see if maybe this next iteration of building the team up, and this is actually the first time in the franchise's history they've done like a full teardown. I mean, they were always in it, and I'd said before, they were always big game hunters, always looking for the big splash. Dan Boyle, Joe Thornton, just trying to make big, grab the big names, and it ended up not quite working out, for the Sharks doing that way, and so they're finally tearing it down. That being said, Erik Karlsson is still on the trade block. There is no update right now. I mean, he's kind of in control because he has the no trade clause, so he's talking to teams still, and we'll see what happens.
It seems like the lead team is maybe the Penguins.
The Penguins are the front runners, but I mean, that doesn't really mean anything right now. Until the deal is actually done, we'll see.
Because the Sharks have to agree to a trade too, right?
Exactly.
Like the Sharks have to like, nah, we don't want those potatoes.
Yeah.
You know? Is a hockey you can trade draft picks and stuff, or
yeah, you can. Yeah. I don't know if you can. I don't know if there's a set, but what is it called? That rule where you can't trade back-to-back first-round picks and basketball. I forgot the name of that rule is. I don't think I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, I don't think they have that.
But
it's not like MLB where you can't trade draft picks.
No. You can.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you absolutely can.
I mean, the Kings traded Martin Jones and I think their 13th pick, or the 13th overall pick for Milan Lucic just for the Bruins to turn around and trade him right back to the Sharks. So
yeah.
That was a nice big fuck you to us.
Yeah, and he played well for like 2 or 3 years and then played not so well. And wouldn't you know it, he fucking found himself again now all of a sudden out in the desert. You know, god damn. That pissed me off. I mean, I actually got a Martin Jones bobblehead at my desk at work. One of the games that I went to, that was, you know, he's in the squad, he's doing the butterfly, you know, and
I mean, how do you think we felt when we traded Quickie to Columbus just for them to turn around and trade him to Vegas? And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Why are you doing business with them?
Why are you trading in my division?
The whole point of sending him to the East was to be out of the division. God damn.
What'd you guys get though? A couple of defensemen, or?
Yeah, we got a couple of defensemen.
Yeah. Quick sign with the Rangers, right?
Fucking Rob Blake, dude. Yeah, sign with the Rangers. With the Rangers.
So Vince, let me ask you this about the Sharkies. How do you? I mean, like, they're still rebuilding. There's still a lot of work to do.
Yeah, it's still a couple years away.
How do you feel a couple years away?
Yeah, I mean, if they make the playoffs this coming season, I will be shocked and thrilled and surprised, and it'll be too early. But it's not going to happen. I mean, the best case scenario, I think, is the 2015 Astros when they were like a year too early, and then they took a step back in 2016 and then won in 2017 through cheating scandals and whatnot. But we're not going to talk about that part of it. But yeah, I mean, they're still a couple years away.
So do you think Eklund is with the team this year, or is he?
Yeah, he has to. Yeah. William Eklund at this point. Yeah, Thomas Bordeleau, William Eklund, the two big studs down at the Barracuda. They're ready. At this point, there's no reason not to.
I mean, you guys are still gonna have our number because for whatever reason, we always play like shit against the Sharks, no matter what. I don't know what it is, man.
It's one of those games you get up for, I guess, as a player. I mean, it's a healthy, respectful rivalry. You know, it's a middle finger, but with a tip of the hat and a sir. You know, like.
And Daniel, let me ask you this about the Kings. Like, what's going on over there? Because I don't know a lot about hockey. So, and I know some of our listeners, they're not the biggest hockey, informed people. So let's try to teach them a little bit.
I mean, our biggest kryptonite has definitely been our offense. Like, we're just too inconsistent offensively. And I mean, we have your former coach as our coach, Tom McClellan, and I've still been very skeptical of McClellan even up to this point, because the thing that always sticks out to me is that this is the coach that lost a 3-0 lead in the playoffs. I didn't want that as my head coach, but you know what? He
lost it to you guys.
Exactly.
Oh, it's funny you bring this up. I was actually at so I wasn't at the game. I was game 5. They were in San Jose playing, and that was the game that Pickles, Marc-Edouard Vlasic got hurt early, and the Kings ended up winning 3-0. I was at the Hooters across the street from the Staples Center watching the game that day. So like, it was me in my teal hat at the LA Kings official watch party, and so like I got booed pretty good, but I had a lot of fun doing that. It was kind of fun being that guy, you know. Yeah, I saw one other Sharks fan, but his was like a black hat with the black logo, so he was just trying to hide. But there was me. I didn't even know it was to the watch party. Like, the guy that I was with, he's like, I want to go watch the UFC fights, and I was like, cool, I want to watch the Sharks game. So we went to the bar across the street, and wouldn't you fucking know it, man?
was a King's watch party.
It was a King's watch party.
Jesus.
The power play sirens were going off. The Kings, the rink girls were there, and God, I didn't even know what was happening when I first got there, but a lot of fun, man.
I do have to say, like, watching hockey live is
dude,
amazing.
It's beautiful.
Like, it's one of the best things to watch live. Is live hockey is a lot of fun. So I'm definitely excited to. I really want to hit up the Barracuda game because it was like so affordable and so accessible.
I think it was under $25, and we were in the third row, man. We were right there, right on the ice. Yeah, right on the.
We're definitely going to be there a lot more this coming season. We got to get maybe we make it down to LA and
that'd be dope.
Check out some games there too. We gotta take the show on the road.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
It's funny, man, because like the last couple times that I've taken people that are like, "Oh, I'm not a big hockey fan. I don't know anything about it." About 5-10 minutes into the game, blood, more blood.
Yeah.
We want blood.
It's the sport. If you're watching, if you're trying to get somebody who's not into sports, into sports, hockey's the one you take them to.
Yeah,
because there's a little bit of everything, you know.
Screaming bloody murder. They just want more violence.
You know what I really like
Jesus.
is you can only enter when you're a fan. They only let you in. The minor league, I think it was a little bit more loose, but they only let you come and go at like certain moments. You can't just run around.
When the puck's not in play. When the puck's not in play.
Like you can't just run around and do whatever the hell you want when you want. Like, nah, man, you're here to watch a hockey game. You sit there and you watch.
Not even just that. God forbid you get a freaking stray puck off the forehead. Yeah, and that's not gonna feel nice.
No.
Yeah. So I do like
smarts.
that. I don't. I like that. I like that hockey. So, watching one sport, hockey's a lot of fun to watch live. So is soccer. So is MLS. Another sport I don't know much about, but I did go to some Earthquakes games.
Yeah.
I've been to the California Classico a couple times. Got to sit at midfield. It was great. Hard for me to watch on television. I do watch the World Cup. I did spend some time watching World Cup, but Vince, take me through some Earthquakes news.
Well, right now, the MLS season has paused for the Leagues Cup, and the group stage of the Leagues Cup is wrapping up and has wrapped up basically at this point. The Earthquakes got eliminated. They lost 1-0. They had to win by 2 goals to advance, so it wasn't looking promising anyway. So I'm not terribly surprised they didn't advance after being put in that situation. They honestly, for a team that is, like they're kind of fighting for a playoff spot, but they're on the right side of that fight. I'm not mad, like you're not risking your players getting injured at this point anymore. They can go back, train, regroup for the end of the season. I'm going to spin this as positive of being eliminated from the Leagues Cup, and probably something that they needed a little bit, maybe a little kick in the pants a little, and just get their shit together, get Lucha Gonzalez, get them organized, and get ready to roll for the final push toward the playoffs. So there you go. There's your Earthquakes update. The Women's World Cup, USA tied Netherlands 1-1 on Wednesday night. They're playing actually in about 5.5 hours from now. It's 6:20-ish right now as we're talking. They're playing at midnight Pacific time. So it's going to be a late night if you're watching. Part of me almost wishes that they'd be playing at like 3 a.m. or something, because then I can just wake up early and whatever. I'd always rather wake up early than try to stay up late to watch a sports thing, because my blood's going to be pumped after or whatever. So if I'm awake, I'm awake. But that's not the draw that happened.
I definitely feel you on that. Like if I wake up past midnight, there's a good chance I'm not going back to bed. I'm just going to lay there.
Yeah, exactly.
If I wake up before midnight, I'm like, I could probably make myself go back to sleep.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, so they're playing Portugal. Like I said, they advanced the knockout stage with a win or a draw. That seems fairly doable. They're one of the deepest teams in the World Cup. So, use that depth. Don't be afraid to make some substitutions. That's something that didn't happen in the Netherlands game. So,
I mean, I was surprised that the Netherlands went ahead first.
Yeah,
I think that was like the first time in like 12 straight matches that happened.
Yeah, Alex Morgan had the go-ahead goal, but she was offside as well. So they had their opportunities. They just they only capitalized on one of them. So like I said, they just need a win or a draw to advance, and then they'll be on to the knockout stage.
All right,
on to defending their title.
And I'm sorry, when's that next game? When's that next match?
It's at midnight tonight.
Midnight.
So,
oh, that's right.
Yeah, so in another 5.5 hours.
Dang.
I mean, it's better than what I had to do when I was watching the World Cup in Hawaii, bro. So like the Mexico games were all at reasonable times, and then I would wake up at like 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning from my best friend because he was a USA fan. So yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah.
I gotta remind me to send you guys the video of him waking me up one morning.
Oh shit.
It was literally him playing the
yeah, that's Reveille.
Yep.
That's Reveille.
Yep,
yeah,
the Reveille. Yeah. He played that to wake me up. I'm like,
I was a Boy Scout. We used to have Reveille at camp. I know
Dang.
that. I know that stuff. Shit.
All right, guys. Any final thoughts on soccer, MLS?
Best sport to watch live, in my opinion.
There you go.
I think it's hockey, but soccer is second. I mean, but yeah, they're both phenomenal sports to watch.
Absolutely.
And, Mexico versus USA said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, dude. The World Cup game, the World Cup final between what was it, France and Argentina. That game, that soccer doesn't get any better than that. So I mean, go watch that game. Really get yourself excited for some soccer. It's a beautiful sport, and
I mean, in
really
3 years,
go watch.
In 3 years, we'll be watching it live because it's going to be here, it's going to be in Mexico, and it's going to be in Canada.
I'm actually really actually for that.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to one of those games for sure. I don't even care if I'm what teams I'm watching. I'm going to a World Cup game.
I just want to go
in 2026.
I just really want to go. I've told my relatives, look, guys, I'm gonna tell you straight up. I don't care if it's somebody's wedding, somebody's first communion, somebody's baptism. I don't give a fuck if somebody died. I'm gonna be in Mexico watching my team play in the World Cup. All right,
there you go. Yeah. Are we all on board? We're good.
Yeah,
all right.
We're good. All right, cool. So don't nobody die in 3 years. All right, cool.
Dude, like I don't care. I'll go watch like Cameroon versus Australia. I don't care. Like if that's the game that's playing that I get tickets to, that's the game I'm going to. You know, I'm so excited for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so
guys. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna move on, but yeah.
NFL. Just a couple of quick things. There's this. I think we talked about it a little bit last week with Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley has signed a 1-year deal, but this like running back versus the NFL thing is still happening. We got Jonathan Taylor now is requesting a trade out of Indiana, and Jim Irsay, the owner of the Colts, says no. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but something weird is going on where the Colts are saying, well, John Taylor reported a back injury, so we're going to put him on the NFL list where he can't perform.
Oh, the
Jonathan Taylor is saying
injury. Yeah.
Correct. And now Jonathan Taylor is saying, I never said anything about my back on Twitter. So this thing has the potential to get really nasty in Indiana. What are you guys' thoughts about this whole running back thing? Because it extends, Daniel, Josh Jacobs is still not here. Is still not in Las Vegas training with the team. So what are your thoughts?
I mean, ultimately, well, first off with Jonathan Taylor, like they said that he failed his physical miserably, that it was not just his back, it was also his ankle that was surgically repaired in the offseason. So, you know, this is like a whole he said, she said shenanigan in Indianapolis. As for Josh Jacobs, I don't understand why this man has not been given a new contract. I understand that the NFL is a business. I understand that, you know, the longevity of a running back in this league is, you know, a couple seasons. But when you have a talent like a Saquon Barkley, like an Austin Eckler, like a Jonathan Taylor, like a Josh Jacobs, who carried the offense on his back last season, you can't let that kind of guy rock. You can't let him walk. Like, we already lost Darren Waller. We need to open up the field some more, dude. And Josh Jacobs is a guy that can do that for you. And Davis, you need to wake up. You need a guy like Josh Jacobs out on the field, plain and simple.
Yeah. It's almost like because he performed so well, it's actually viewed as a negative.
It's a detriment
because he put, like, you know, because he got hit more. They used him more. They hit him more. He was tackled more times because he had the ball more times in his hands. And so they're being punished, especially hard because they performed well.
Yep.
And it really rubs me the wrong way. I don't like it at all. I'm really glad that Christian McCaffrey already had his big bag signed when the Niners traded for him. So, I don't have to worry about that for a couple of years. But he's definitely speaking up for this as well too. Just because he got his bag doesn't mean that he's not feeling the effects of it as well. At least for his running back brethren. So mad props.
Yeah, I think a lot of this has to do. I mean, people are saying, well, you're going to pay other players, the NFL, you're going to pay the quarterback, you're going to pay skill positions, not the running back, but you're going to pay, the average value of offensive linemen has gone way up over the past, 10, 15 years because you have to protect that $1 billion investment in a quarterback. And then you're also paying edge rushers. You're paying the guys that get after the quarterback and blow up those offensive tackles. So the financials of the NFL has changed. I don't think we'll ever see it. But I think something like where the NBA, where you have like max and super max deals, where you can share the wealth more. But right now, I mean, you get quarterbacks that are 40, 50, $60 million a year. So how are you going to fit all of these players into the cap? So I do think something needs to change with the NFL and how they do contracts. And I think, what's coming out from Josh Jacobs' camp is it's not, the Raiders apparently offered him $13 million a year, but they're just saying what they offered per year without not including the guarantees. It was based on all of these metrics and things like that. So obviously he's looking for a bigger guarantee payout. As look at the guarantees that quarterbacks get. Look at the clown in Minnesota got a fully guaranteed
Kirk Cousins.
contract.
Yeah, I mean it was only 83 million, but he's getting every penny of that 83 million. Yeah,
fully guaranteed.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
And I know a lot of owners weren't happy about that. They were, don't guarantee that contract. But I mean, if Kirk Cousins is getting $83 million guaranteed, you're saying you can't guarantee $10 million for Josh Jacobs for 1 year?
I mean, this is a guy
25 for 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guy that led the league in rushing last year, was top 10 in touchdowns. It's like, where else are you going to get that offensive production? It wasn't Devontae Adams. It wasn't Derek Carr. Derek Carr was like in the 12th in passing, if that.
Right. Yeah, the best thing that you can do the best thing you can do to help Jimmy Garoppolo and these wide receivers and a rookie tight end who's probably going to be starting for you is having a good running game. It's going to open up the play action game. It's going to, Jimmy's not really known for a deep ball thrower. We know that, Vince, right? He's not a deep threat guy. Yeah. So thinking that, Jimmy G is going to come out here and just whip this ball around and put it where he wants, and that's not his game. That's not what he does. And I know they got a nice running back behind Josh Jacobs, but we got to see that. Like we're giving this young guy the reins based on speculation, and we don't know what's going to happen. I said this last week. If you don't give Josh Jacobs the $10-20 million guaranteed for the next year or 2 years, do you really think you're going to be able to get somebody in July or next month that's going to fix the defense? Because we know the defense has been a problem for decades. Khalil Mack didn't fix the defense. So who's somebody that you're going to pay $10, $20, $30 million on the other side of the ball to fix the defense? Because that's what Raider fans are saying. And I'm like, well, who are you going to get?
There's nobody out there.
Who are you going to get right now? Who are you going to get? Trade. Who can you trade for right now and give that money that's going to fix the Raiders defense and balance this thing out? I don't know, but
even Aaron Donald can't do it. Can't do it by himself.
Yeah.
So, and even then, if you trade for somebody and them not knowing your organization, you're going to have to drastically overpay. So we've seen these things before. Like we saw Khalil Mack get traded to the Bears and then they paid him right away. And other than that first year, Khalil Mack, had an average career with the Bears, so his best years were with the Raiders, so I don't really know what the Raiders can do. You might as well just give them the money for this year. I don't even think you can fully fix the defense by next season. Just look at other teams. Teams typically don't rebuild their defense and offense, rebuild their teams and teams' identity in 1 or 2 seasons. And I don't know. I really don't know about Josh McDaniels. So it's really hard for me to take the positivity coming out of camp this year. I mean, I guess you want to hear good things coming out of camp, but at the same time, go read any camp article about any team, and they're all saying the same stuff.
It's all sunshine, rainbows, and lollipops out of camp.
Office looks real crisp. Wow.
Unless there's an injury. Basically, if everybody escapes a training camp practice uninjured, everything was shiny, sparkly. The road is golden, and everything's
and we don't even hear
okay.
And we don't even hear that in it's all sunshine and rainbows in spring in preseason as well, because the starters are only playing the first game they play like a snap, and then the second game they maybe play a series, and then the third game they don't even play. So the starters don't even play anymore because you're so terrified you might get somebody hurt. And then they say, well, they didn't really play with the real playbook. They were testing out some things. And then you get into the real season, and then you see the dog crap, then all of a sudden you get the real reporting. So
right.
I can't even take what's going on any team really seriously, because everything is looking great right now.
Right. Yeah. Bosa's not at camp right now. Nobody's concerned at this point.
Nobody's concerned.
He's gonna get paid eventually. They got to rework some other stuff, I guess, and I imagine there's probably going to be a cap casualty that we're not expecting to make Bosa's
Trey Lance
bag happen. Fucking might be. It fucking might be. I was one of the last guys holding on, but I mean, like I had moved on at this point, and if they can get anything for Trey Lance, I think they will. They'll try to, but his value is in the fucking gutter right now. Like they're not gonna be able to get anything for him. They may just have to cut him, and he's on his rookie deal. So I mean, it's not gonna hurt nearly as much to cut him, even though he is a quarterback. But then also that would basically be saying that's an L officially. And if Sam Darnold is beating you out in training camp right now, it is not good. And I mean, and of course it's training camp, so everybody's like hyping up. Everybody looks great, especially Sam Darnold looked real fucking good. I don't care. I don't care that Sam Darnold looked good. Just God, like the whole thing is frustrating, and I wish Trey Lance would have been a thing. He certainly has like a lot of the tools that you would look to. He has the mobility, he has a strong arm, but I guess he just couldn't get that playbook. That playbook is a beast.
And I think
Kyle Shanahan, that is a tough one to learn, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I think like look at Peyton Manning sat for a whole year, and then his first season or his rookie season, did he play his? He
played his whole rookie season,
but he was like 3-13.
Yeah, it was
3-13, and then you have Aaron Rodgers sat for how many seasons behind Brett Favre until he got a shot.
Yeah.
So I think Trey Lance might be the guy that it may have been better for him to sit and watch for 2 seasons, 3 seasons before because when this was being talked about all last week about Trey Lance, that people were saying he didn't look good, and then people
he only got a game and a half, and one of those games was a torrential downpour. So
right.
The problem with Trey is we never got to
see him.
Yeah, he got injured before he could get a chance, and of course we talk about availability, man.
there's been talk about him where he flashes the arm. It's like, damn, look at that. He could put it anywhere, but it's being consistent in practice, and he wasn't able to show that consistently. And I think that has more to do with him knowing the playbook, knowing where to go with the ball, diagnosing the defense and seeing what's open. It's a hard league, and it's even harder when you're running Kyle Shanahan's offense, because it's, we all hear how difficult it is to pick up. And, so I wish him the best. I mean, I was really excited that the 49ers got Trey Lance, because in the college games that I got to see, he looked really exciting. He looked, I mean, in the one year that Kyle Shanahan had RG3, I mean, RG3 looked incredible until he got hurt.
Exactly.
So I think Trey is probably going to be a good quarterback. I just don't think it's going to be with the 49ers.
Yeah. Anyway, there's one last note that we got to talk about here. It's Sean Payton calling out Nathaniel Hackett, and then Aaron Rodgers stepping up and saying, don't talk about my coach like that. You don't say that.
Well, I don't want to be the guy sticking up for Aaron Rodgers, but that was pretty shitty of Sean Payton. Like, you have nothing to do with that.
Mm-hmm.
You have nothing to do with that regime. It's over. Good, bad, whatever. He's no longer there. Nathaniel Hackett couldn't hack it, Nice. He's not there. So enough said. Like,
some guys, I mean, we've talked about this before. Some guys just kind of, they top out at coordinator.
And then Sean Payton,
that's fine.
What's even worse was the excuse. It's bad enough that you come out and you say these things about Nathaniel Hackett and his staff, but then it's even worse. It's even worse that you come out and defend it and say, I was still Tim, I can hear you from the ones and twos, buddy. Sean Payton comes out and criticizes his predecessor, the coaching staff, Nathaniel Hackett, but then the excuse is, I was still in the mindset of being a sports analyst on Fox. Like, that is lame.
Bro.
That
is
lame.
Yeah,
so
that's a Charmin, man.
It's like Aaron Rodgers coming out and saying, like, be quiet. I was an MVP back to back with this OC. Shut up. I know Aaron Rodgers is a weirdo, but in this one particular case, I think he's right. Like, you have nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, buddy.
Yeah, they're gonna play each other in week 5.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
I can just see the promo for it.
That game suddenly just got a lot of hype, man, and it's gonna be a lot of excitement around it. And frankly, Aaron Rodgers, he's the guy that kind of has that chip on his shoulder anyway, because of how it went down in Green Bay, like how it started and then how it finished as well. So, I mean, this is just fuel to the fire. If he's got anything left in the tank, he's gonna fucking use it this year, man. Pissed off and motivated Aaron Rodgers is not something I am particularly excited with a defense. And he's got a couple of like excellent playmakers on offense as well.
And it looks like Robert Saleh's a coach.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew he could coach a defense for a long time. We knew that, but now he looks like he's a head coach. It looks like he ain't going to be a coordinator, right? Daniel, you wanted something to add?
I was going to say, not to mention, there's also been speculation that Dalvin Cook might join the Jets. So if they pick him up, oof.
Yeah, that's
that's just added ammunition for Rodgers. And I mean, he doesn't need more than he already has, dude, but you're just adding fuel to that fire. And like, to your point, Sam, like the fact that your excuse is like, oh, I'm still thinking like an analyst. You don't forget about the coaches fraternity after 1 year, after 2 years, bro. Yeah. You know the standard. You don't do that kind of shit, bro. Like, you don't do that. You don't do that professionally. You don't badmouth like that, dude. Better.
No, it's weak. It's
weak.
It's so
weak.
And
it almost makes it seem like if for whatever reason they're not successful this year or last year or next year, it's like he has an excuse, quote unquote. Oh, it's because I'm still working out the kinks of the Hackett regime. Like, fuck off.
He's built. Maybe
sure.
he got there and saw just how fucked up it is, and he's trying to build in his excuses right now. And come on, man, sack up.
It's one of those. I mean, part of me, I think I get what he was trying to do. I think part of it was maybe the excuse train, but I also think part of it was like defending his quarterback. Defending, Russell Wilson, that he did nothing wrong. Like he literally was saying he didn't do nothing wrong.
Yeah, Russell Wilson didn't throw all those interceptions last year. No.
And Sean Payton knows more football than I will ever know. I'm not comparing us, but there's professional and there's not professional. What he said was not professional.
Yeah,
in that situation is, I don't know. They ain't here. I am. And Russell Wilson's my quarterback.
Right.
I took the job because I believe in Russell Wilson. Next question. Like, you didn't diss anybody else. You praise your quarterback. We got a lot of work to do. We're going to build the offense around Russell. We've seen what he did in the past. This is a Super Bowl champion. Like, you can praise him and say he had a down year and not point any blame at the fraternity, even though you may be right. Nathaniel Hackett could be terrible. Nathaniel Hackett could ruin Aaron Rodgers this upcoming season. We don't know. We're going to see how that plays out. He could be right. But to come out and say it like that, Bush League, just like Vince said.
Yeah. There's really not much else we can add on that. It did take Russell Wilson almost the entire season to get more touchdown passes than bathrooms in his house.
Nice.
There was actually a TikTok.
Nice.
There was an actual TikTok account. Like after, like every Monday, they'd be like,
that was part of your weekly Russell Wilson update.
That's right.
That's a good one.
That's right.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I did want to throw something crazy out at you that I saw on Instagram Reels. So there was this guy that reminded me that back in the day when the Raiders still had Randy Moss, there was a trade that was possibly in place, Randy Moss for Aaron Rodgers. Now imagine had this trade gone through, the Raiders would not have used the number 1 overall pick on Jamarcus Russell. Instead, they probably would have used it on Calvin Johnson. And Megatron and Aaron Rodgers would have been the nastiest quarterback receiver duo in NFL history since we've seen Marvin Harrison and Peyton Manning. Since Aaron Rodgers is no longer in Green Bay, Brett Favre probably ends his career with the Packers, and they very well could have won a Super Bowl now that he has Randy Moss. I was like,
damn, that could have worked. I mean, for both sides. The what ifs.
If we knew every single what if of an NFL franchise, what, good or bad, but I mean, I heard another one because Lane Kiffin was the coach. And I also heard, that he wanted Megatron in the first round, and I forget the quarterback in the second round he wanted to get. But it was at the time it was a good quarterback. I mean, just having Megatron and not Jamarcus Russell.
Yep.
Because and stick up for the Raiders a little bit, stick up for Al Davis and Mark Davis a little bit is I know we clown Mark for his bowl cut and the same fit every time he's seen. He's in the same like blazer with a white t-shirt like mine and the bowl cut. Like, dude, can you dress like you belong here for once? And Al Davis was, all love and respect, but he was the crypt keeper at the end, and that it wasn't a good look all the time for Mr. Davis, but the Raiders always found a way to retain talent or to go out and get a fish, get a big fish. Sometimes it just wasn't on the right fish, or sometimes you just didn't put the whole team together, but they always tried. Sometimes it was just for the wrong players, but to have Megatron, and even if you don't get Aaron Rodgers, to get like another fish, that's just not Jamarcus.
That would have been insane.
I mean, just having that wide receiver with whoever, just not Jamarcus.
Right.
Your franchise is probably different.
I mean,
for the next 20 years.
I seem to remember like the Raiders were the only ones really interested in Jamarcus that high in the draft. Maybe he goes like, maybe he has that Aaron Rodgers type fall. He falls into the 20s or something. And then he gets to develop a couple of years as well, like, you know, behind somebody else. And also if Aaron Rodgers ends up on the Raiders, does he perform as well as he did in Green Bay? It's another question, because the coaching staffs would be different. The plays would be different. You know, I mean, it's just a whole lot of, you know, layers to think about as well. But I mean, you do bet on talent in the end, I think.
The other domino to fall in that what if situation was the Pats don't go 16-0 and very well don't, you know, make the Super Bowl that year.
Yeah.
Completely forgot they had Randy Moss on that team when they went 16-0.
Yeah, he was the catalyst that kind of took him from division winner to the next batch of Super Bowls for Tom.
Yeah, man, it's just imagining not having Jamarcus Russell and that, you know, and I feel bad for the dude to a certain degree, but at the same time, you got a lifetime bag of money that changed your life. So at the same time, I don't
not
feel
anymore.
bad at, you know,
he's broke now.
Well, what an idiot.
Yeah, remember he came out on ESPN's 30 for 30 broke.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's enough. We talked way more about Jamarcus Russell than I ever thought we would.
Yeah, I don't want to. Damn it, Daniel.
It was just something I saw.
It's a fun thing.
We were having a great show, and it just nosed.
Yeah. I remember somebody overlaid "It's So Hard to Say Goodbye to Yesterday" by Boyz II Men over the top of all the Jamarcus Russell fuck ups, all the interceptions and fumbles.
Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. I mean, this franchise would be totally different. So
yeah.
Definitely, man.
Anyway, guys, you guys got any final thoughts, notes you want to throw in there?
I'm all set, man.
Dodger fans, make sure to support the Oakland A's as much as you can this week. So
appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
You know, we're all together on this.
Appreciate you guys, man. Great show. All right, guys, that's going to be it for us tonight. You're listening to the SVT Sports Podcast. Subscribe to us on YouTube, hit the bell, and get alerts when we go live. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SVT Sports Pod. Slide into our DMs. We would love to interact with you. I guess we got to change this N to X. Follow us on X.
I ain't fucking doing it. I'll delete our account before I change it to say X. Find us on Threads.
Yeah, Threads.
Yeah, we'll go to Threads before I do that. All right, later.
All right, guys, have a good night.
See you next week, everybody.
Fuck John Fisher.